What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we'll be hunting a $500 box of quarters from our local Wells Fargo. And if you watch my last Brinks box hunt, it was pretty pathetic. There were lots of overstuffed and understuffed coin rolls, mainly understuffed coin rolls. We had about 25 nickels and dimes in those rolls, so I've taken the time to actually go through all of these and weigh them just to see where they landed. And I think the lightest roll I had was in the mid 227 grams, which means we might find a dime or two. But I had a whole lot of 230 to 231 plus gram rolls, which means we're probably going to have a handful of overstuffed rolls. And I've gone ahead and marked those rolls with their weight so we know that they'll have something extra in them when we get to them. So with that said, we're going to get this box pushed back. We're going to get into them, really hoping to find some silver. It's been a couple of boxes since we found silver. And of course, there are a ton of quarter varieties we'll be looking for along with our West Point Mint quarters. So let's jump into these rolls. So let's open roll number one, and we'll actually open roll number two together as well, just to see if we get lucky and find any silver. I do see lots of shiny. I do not see any silver. So normally I open up my videos by kind of going through a half a roll or a roll, explaining what we find. I've done that the last couple of rolls, or last couple of boxes. I'm going to skip that this time. You can always go back and check out my old videos because I do repeat myself quite frequently. But I do want to get into this one. 233.6 grams. Your average roll of quarters weighs about 228. So we've probably got a nickel or a quarter stuffed in here would be my guess. Or we've got a bunch of silver, which I'm not seeing. All right, come on, roll. I've opened 9,000 rolls of quarters and can't seem to get this one open on camera. Let's see here. Do we have any nickels? No nickels. I'm willing to bet you if I count these, let's just do it real quick. There's 40, and we have an extra. Let's see. Do we have a W? No, we do not. It is a Denver. So we're already one quarter ahead on this hunt. With that said, I'll go through these guys. If I find anything interesting, I'll be sure to bring you in. So as you can see, we've still got those first two rolls pulled out. I got about halfway through this first roll, and we've come across our first real find. I did pull, of course, that one extra quarter and a Philadelphia Bicentennial, but we have a San Francisco clad quarter right here, and it is the Minnesota Voyagers, and I get this one a lot. This 2018 San Francisco, I think I said clad proof. It's a business strike. If I said clad proof earlier, I was wrong. It is a business strike. Super low mintage on these things, between about 700,000 and 800,000 minted. This one's pretty well circulated, but it's a find. We'll hang on to it. We're on roll number 3, and we have another San Francisco business strike. And I haven't looked at the reverse yet. Let's see. A 2017 Ellis Island, New Jersey. 2 business strikes on the box. So I'm still going through those first 3 rolls. I pulled quarters to put out under the scope, and I've already got 3 finds that I wanted to bring in and show you under the scope, but we've got one of the Sally Ride, we've got one of the Maya Angelou, and we've got one of the 2005 Kansas quarters. So this is, oh, there we go. This is going to be the Drooling George with the Sally Ride quarter. You'll see the big die chip right there in the corner of the mouth. That's not supposed to be there. The Maya Angelou is exactly the same, but a slightly different chip. That's why it's called the Drooling George. Looks like he's got a little something coming out of his mouth there. And the last one is that Kansas quarter, and it is the In God We Rust, but this one's actually pretty good. It's a terrible coin, pretty beat up, but this is the In Odd We Rust error. You could just barely make out the G and the T there, but this is a complete error coin. So I figured we'd go ahead and do roll 4 together since it is so very heavy. This has likely got 2 extra quarters in it, or maybe a couple of nickels in it in place of quarters, because a nickel and a quarter weigh about the same. But I just wanted to open this in case, again, when they're this heavy, they could be loaded with silver. It's just not very likely. Silver's pretty hard to find in a quarter box these days. So even if I just get one regularly, or if I just get one, I get pretty excited about it. And this is definitely just going to be extra quarters. That's 40. And there are 2 extras right here. Let's see, Philadelphia. Too bad, that would have been a river of no return. And we've got another possible W. It's also a Philadelphia. That's the Lowell. All right, well, that is 3 extra quarters so far on the hunt. We'll put those aside and keep on hunting. So I should have opened this one live because 230.5 grams means you've got something extra, maybe a penny, maybe a dime, maybe you've just got a bunch of new quarters because with no wear. But as soon as I got the paper off of this one, you could see that I was stuffed with a little something extra there. And it appears to be a dime, and it is clad. So we'll just put it here with our extras. Stopping here on roll number 11, we're about, I don't know, a third way through the roll, and I've pulled one to put under the scope. And it is one of the homestead quarters, and you can see we have found ourselves one of the DDRs. Where's my mouse? Come on, mousey. There he is. Right here, this doubling in the window. I'll pull up Variety Vista, and I'll put it over here on the right-hand side of the screen, which one we're matching. But that is definitely one of the Homestead DDRs. So we are into roll 30 here, and you can see right here, we found us another San Francisco Business Strike. I haven't looked at the reverse yet, so I'm unsure what we're going to have. We've been loaded down with 2018s lately. Well, there it is. It's another 2018. This is the Michigan Pictured Rocks. I think I've got a couple of these, but not near as many as the other ones that I was mentioning earlier in the video. But another 2018. This is roll 31, and I did have someone in my comments for, I believe it was maybe it was my nickel video, or I can't remember. One of my videos recently asked, how come I don't show the opening and searching through every roll in my videos? And I had to explain that honestly, hunting a box of whatever it is takes quite a bit of time to do it correctly if you're looking for all the errors and varieties and other things that you might be looking for in that box. So I typically only show you guys the finds, but every now and then we do edge hunt some rolls. Or I have in the past hunted a whole box on camera and then fast forwarded through the whole thing, and I'm not sure the value that people get out of that. But I'm happy to do a couple of rolls like this from time to time. If it's interesting, let me know in the comments down below if you prefer me to go through entire rolls. And you saw how I went through that, and we just found another San Francisco Business Strike. And you know it's a business strike because proofs will have a very mirrored finish and a frosted, I forget what it's called. The fields are mirror finish, and then the rest of the coin's frosted. So that's how you know if it's a proof or not. But looks like we've got another 2018 Minnesota Voyager. So 2 of those on the box. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do more rolls. I just don't want my videos to get to be, you know, every video is 45 minutes or an hour and a half. I just think that's actually better for a live stream format. I'll put a picture of this under the scope, from under the scope, but this is another Kansas and God We Rust. The T's there, but it's very, very faint. This is one I would likely just toss back, especially considering the first one that I found. But I'll put that up on the screen so you can see what that looked like. Got a Homestead, possible error there. On that one, we're looking for the snow on the roof. We are looking for DDRs, and we are looking for the leaky bucket, and that is the coin that I find absolutely the most errors on in nearly every hunt that I do. So there you go. That is an entire roll on camera with some finds. I just happened to grab the right one, so there we have it. So I'm going to go back off camera, and I'll just bring you in for the finds from here on out. We're on roll 38. I'm pretty far through the roll. I've got another Homestead quarter under the scope, and this is one that is a okay example of the snow on the roof and actually the snow on the window, which you don't see a lot of. I found a handful of these, but it's just a die chip here on the upper window. And you can see we've got some die chips here on the roof that make it look like there's snow. And we've got a little bit of kind of raised metal, like this was maybe early in the process. There's about to be some additional die chips that would have eventually happened on this side, maybe further in the run. But this is a snow on the roof. Unfortunately, no DDR and no leaky bucket. But it's a little bit of a different find. So as you can see, 4 out of the last 9 rolls are going to be heavy. So I will be opening those heavy rolls on camera. I won't be searching them on camera unless there's something obvious that jumps out. But this is one of them, 233.9. So we should have an extra nickel or an extra quarter hiding in here. And again, I'm not going to count them all, but I'll let you know with a little comment, a little note in the lower right-hand corner of the screen if I'm right. But no silver, just a heavy roll, probably an extra quarter. So here's roll 44 coming in at 239.6. So that's going to be at least 2 extra coins. And when I say coins, it'd have to be 2 nickels, 2 quarters, or like I always say, a bunch of silver. But that has just not been panning out in this box. What year is that? That'd be nice, but it's not. It's a 1998. That's definitely not silver. I bet those 2 are going to be extras. I'll let you know in the bottom right-hand corner of the video. So here's roll 45. Now this one was just 229.0, which is just a little tiny bit heavy. This is likely just some extra paper, or that extra weight could be silver. So I don't think we're going to have an extra quarter in here. I think this is just probably a little extra paper to get us over to the 229. So here's the next one heavy. No, the next one's not heavy. So I will go off camera and bring you in if we find anything interesting. So we are down to our last 3 rolls, and I'm stopping here because, as I told you, the heavy ones I was going to open, and I'm intrigued by this because normally an extra quarter is like 233. So 234.5 is a little off weight based on what I normally see. So I'm just real curious what's in here. Definitely something extra, but I'm just not sure what. Yeah, no silver again. Just do a quick quarter count. And we do have 1 extra. We'll add that to the list, and I'll go ahead and go through these off camera and see what we find. So it's funny, I actually just stopped the camera to start going through them, and that Lowell 2019, the first one I flipped over, actually ended up being a San Francisco business strike. It's got a little bit of damage there. I'll put the mintage up on the screen here because I have no idea. Most of my other San Franciscos, or my other business strikes are like 700,000 to 800,000. But I'm real curious. That might be my first 2019 business strike, which is pretty cool. All right, we'll keep hunting. Okay, well that wraps up this hunt. We just got through roll 50, and I wanted to make sure we did a recap. Let's start with the easy stuff. Our last box of quarters that was Brinks, we had tons of nickels and dimes. We were actually shorted by about $2.25. Today, we almost made all that back. We were overstuffed by 8 quarters and 1 dime. So we made $2.10 on this box of quarters, just in extra overstuffed coins. So that's always a welcome sight. So I'm still 15 cent light if I combine the 2 boxes. On top of that, we had 10 Philadelphia Bicentennials. That's your drummer boy quarters. A couple of them came out really, really nice. I do hang on to these and make rolls and occasionally do sell them. We got 1 Denver, which is odd. I normally get about an even split or pretty close, but we only had 1 Denver Bicentennial today. We did have 5 San Francisco business strikes, and I think during the video I said they're normally 700,000 to 800,000. Well, these four in particular, and some of the other ones, actually, I think the low end of this was about 846,000 or 864,000 minted, up to over 900,000. None of them had a mintage of more than 1 million. So they were all kind of in that mid eights to maybe mid to upper 900,000 mint. We did, I'll just go through them really quickly though. We had the 2017 New Jersey Ellis Island. Really, really pretty quarter. Again, these are all San Francisco. I showed them off as we found them. We had the Pictured Rock 2018 from Michigan. We had 2 of the Voyagers from Minnesota 2018. And we had the 2019 Lowell. And what's interesting, the 2019 San Francisco's, there was a business strike, San Francisco. There was a proof strike. And of course, there was the silver proof strike. And these are all just your clad business strike. We did have 2 different types of the Engadwi rust error, and I showed both of those off during the video. I did pick up 2 of the 3. I had the Maya Angelou and the Sally Ride die chip on the corner of the mouth, the Drooling George. I did find one extra one that I had set aside. I did not put that one under the scope, but it was basically the same thing. And we did find a DDR and a snow on the roof / snow on the window in the Homestead quarters. So I'll hang on to most of this stuff. I'll flip up my business strikes. I'll probably hang on to at least one of the Engadwi rust errors. The Drooling Georges I typically throw back now because I get them all the time. And there's not a lot of value in them, at least last time I looked on eBay, just like $1 or $2. And by the time you take photos and list it and sell it and pay fees and so on and so forth, you make like 38 cents, and it's just not worth the time. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been getting pretty good quarter hunts of late. I consider this a lot of finds in a single box hunt. The silver has eluded us the last couple of boxes, but even that I've done pretty well on silver this year for quarters. So if you're new to the channel, please do consider dropping down below this video and clicking on that subscribe button. While you're down there, click on that bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. Drop me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see me do differently. I'd love to hear from you. With that said, take care, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.